Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to continue with chapter number 6, that is file system from the subject web frameworks. In last sessions, we have seen the contents and we have started with the FS module. These are the contents of this chapter number 6. We have seen that introduction related to FS module, that is Node FS module provides an API to interact with file system and to perform some IO operations like create file, read file, delete file and update file. So some modules like npm http, we do not need to install that FS module. It comes with the Node.js platform. So Node.js includes FS module to access physical file system. The FS module is responsible for all the asynchronous or synchronous file IO operations. Here, how to import that Node FS module. Using require function, we have seen in last sessions how to import that Node FS module. Using require function here, you can see using require function, we can include the FS module. We can include HTTP module, NPM modules. The modules are available in Node.js. We can include or we can import using require function here. You can see using require function. After importing that FS module, we can perform some operations on files like read files, create files, update files, delete files, and rename files. So first we will see reading files. In last sessions also we have seen that operations. In tomorrow's, oh sorry, in today's lectures we will continue with all these operations. So that is the revision for you. Okay. So reading file. So use fs.read file method to read the physical file asynchronously. For reading that file asynchronously, use fs.read file method. See this parameters for this or the syntax for read file method, that is the object fs dot read file method with the parameter file name. That file name may be full path and name of the file as a string, and options that are that encoding and the flag and the callback. That means if is there any error, it will return the error or it will throw the error, or or if it completes the operation, it will show the message that we have given in console. See the examples for reading the file. Consider one file test file dot text. We are going to read the file asynchronously here. So first we have to import that fs module using require function. How to import? Take one variable where fs is equals to use require function. Inside that, name the module in single quote. After that, use fs dot read file function and pass the parameter as the file name in single quote and write the function with error, and this is the callback function, error comma data here. And if error, then throw the error, otherwise console.log data, otherwise read the file and display that data in that file. This is the asynchronous way we can read the file. So here in this example, we are reading this file asynchronously and executes the callback function. When read operation completes, this read operation either throws an error or completes successfully. Okay. So this is all about reading the file asynchronously. So how to read that file synchronously, we will see here. Before that, see this, how to run the code. So after installation Node.js in our Windows or your platform, write at command prompt node and the file name. So it will read that file and show the data from that file. See here, the test file contains this data, so it will display this data. So how to read that file synchronously? For that, use fs.read file synchronous method to read file synchronously. So similarly, just import that fs module using require function and take another variable like where data is equals to fs dot read file synchronously. So use this function read file synchronously. Inside that, pass the file name, and here see the parameter we are going to pass the encoding technique, that is by default utf-8 encoding technique is there. So what it will do, it will read this file synchronously and take this data into that variable data. So we are going to print that variable data. So it will display the data in that file. This is the way we can read the file synchronously. The next one is writing file. So for writing file, use fs.writeFile method to write data to a file. If that file is already exist, then it will override that content, and if that file is not present, it will create a new file and write the data into that file. So what is the syntax for writing a file? See here, fs.write file, inside the bracket these are the parameters. Parameter consists of file name, that file name in the form of string or the path, full path of that file, then data to be written in the file, and options include the flag, sorry, option includes the flag. By default it is read r format, then the callback function. Okay, so this is the syntax for writing a file. We will see the example here. See this example, we'll create a new file and write the content to that file. So we are going to write the data like hello world into that file asynchronously. So first we have to import the fs module using require function, where fs is equals to require inside the bracket fs module in single quote. Then use write file method, fs dot write file, inside the bracket give the file name like for example test.txt file, then data to be written in that file like hello world in single quote. Then callback function inside the bracket error, it will give error. If error, it will print that error, else it will print like write operation completed successfully. In the same way we are going to append the content to the file. For that we are going to use fs.append file method. What append file will do, it will create a new file if that file is not present, and write the content into that file. If that file is present, it will append the content. So for that, similarly, import the fs module using a require function and use fs.append file method, and give the parameter as file name and data to be written here, and the function name. Similarly, if is there any error, it will print the error using console.log inside the bracket error, else print that append operation completed successfully. This is how we can create and write the file using write file method or using append file method. The next one is create files. How to create files? We have seen that write file and append file method previous slides. So these are the uh, file system modules as some methods for creating new files like fs.append file. We have seen that append file, then fs.open, fs.write file we have seen. So the fs.append file method appends the specified content to a file. If that file does not exist, then it will create a new file. If that file is present, it will append the content. So here you can see the example using append file method. In last slide also we have seen that example for appending file. Then next one is open file. For if you want to open a file for reading or writing using fs.open method. See the syntax for open file method here, fs.open, and parameters as a path, then flags and mode and callback. So here path means full path with the name of the file as a string. Then flags means the flag to perform operations. And next one is mode here. You can see this mode is optional. Mode means a mode for read, write or read write. By default it is 0666, that is read write. Okay, then callback. Callback means a function with two parameters. That is, we are going to write that function as an error. If is there any error, it will show that error, or otherwise it will call the function that operation completed successfully. This is the syntax for open file. Then see these are some flags for flags that we can use in read write operations. So first one is r. R means it will open file for reading. That means if whenever exception occurs, that means exceptions like if that file does not exist and we are trying to open that file for reading purpose, at that time it will show the error or exception. The next flag is R plus, open file for reading and writing. Similarly, it will give an exception if that file does not exist. The next flag is RS. RS means open file for reading in synchronous mode. Then rs plus, open file for reading and writing and telling the OS to open it synchronously. Here see the rs plus. Okay, difference between rs means open file for reading, only reading in synchronous mode, and rs plus means open file for reading and writing in synchronous mode. Then w, open file for writing. It will create a new file if that file is not present, or it will truncate the file if that file is exist. Then next flag is wx flag. Like w, it is same like w flag, that is open file for writing, but it fails when that path already exists. And next one is w plus, it will open the file for reading and writing, and file is created if it is not existed, or truncated if it exists. Then similarly wx plus, it is same like as w plus, but it fails if that path already exists of that file. Then next flag is A, that is for open file for appending. It will create a new file if that file is not present. If file is present, it will append the content. Then next flag is AX, like A, that means open file for appending purpose. It fails if that path of that file already exists. Then A plus, it will open a file for reading and appending. A plus means open a file for reading and appending. The file is created if it does not exist. Then last flag is AX plus. It is similar like A plus, open file for reading and appending, but it fails if that path of that file already exists. So these are the flags for which we can use while read and write operations. So next operation is delete file. So how to delete file? For that, use fs.unlink method to delete an existing file. So syntax for this delete file, fs.unlink. Inside the bracket, parameters are path and callback function. So see the example for file open and read. So how to delete the file? So first we have to import the fs module using require function, then use fs.unlink. Inside the bracket give the path or the file name like test.text and pass the function. Yeah, this function is empty. Inside that function write console.log that operation completed successfully. So using unlink function, this will delete that file or truncate the content of that file. So next operation is update files. So the file system module has some methods for updating files like append file. So we are going to appending that file means we are going to update that file. We are going to add the content into that file. That means we are going to appending and updating that files. And fs.write file. We have seen both the update and both append file and write file methods in previous slides. So these are the way we can update the files. We are going to write the content into that file. We are going to append the content in that file. So for that use fs.append file method and fs.write file method. So see the example of appending. So consider one file and the file is having content like this is my text. We have to append this to the end of the file, like file name is having my new file one.txt file. Okay, so first we have to import the fs module, then use fs.append file method. Inside the bracket give the path name or the file name, and write the content or the data to be written or data to be appended here. This is my text and write function, that is callback. Inside the bracket give if error, throw that error, otherwise print that file is updated. So this is the example for updating file. For updating file use methods like fs.append file or fs.write file. So similarly see the example for writing file using fs.write file method. Then next operation is rename files. So for renaming, to rename a file with a file system module, use fs.rename method. For rename files, fs.rename method is there. It will rename the specified file. See the example here, where we have to rename the file, like rename, this is the old file name, that is my new file one.txt file. So we have to rename this file to my rename file dot text. So first we have to import the fs module using ringfire function, then use fs dot rename. Inside the bracket we have to pass the parameter as first old file name, my new file one dot text comma new file name, that file name which we want to rename first, that is old file name comma new file name comma that function, that is callback function. If error, it will throw the error and print the message that file is renamed. This is the example for renaming a file using fs.rename method. So that's it for today's session. We will see the next part in next session. So we will stop here. Thank you.